This week we are taking an adventure to Arizona.
Green lane for flight number 1236, servicing to Phoenix.
Larry, you got a picture on this one.
I wanted to. Sure. Oh yeah. Hey, what's up? I just came back from a week-long production in Phoenix and the trip was really good. We got to shoot some really cool stuff with a band, and although I can't show you the footage just yet, I can show you a breakdown of the set and a few of the pieces that we used to make it happen. So to kick it off, a little bit of backstory about this shoot. We were sent out there for a week in Phoenix because that is where the studio was, where the band was going to record their album. And they're after quite a distinct look, so it was really fun to collaborate with them and put together this set. Going into it, they had a pretty strong idea of what they wanted in the set already. Starting off with these two TVs, we went to a store to pick up quite a few of them, and with these, they played old movies or old content that they filmed in the past. And we also plugged in a few cameras, some consisting of old ones like VHS ones, which we picked up a new one, which I'm really excited about. And we also plugged in our new cameras like an FX3, as you can see in this photo, to one of the TVs. It was really cool as we were able to film the TVs with content on them already, but also use them as a prop piece in the set. On top of that, we had two projectors projecting images on each wall. Sometimes we swapped between putting a camera feed on the projector, and sometimes we swapped between having just content we filmed in the past on the projector as well. Moving on to lighting, we kept it quite minimal since we were traveling from New York. We weren't able to bring too much gear over, but the stuff I did bring was number one, the Aperture F21C, which is a really lightweight light mat, and we just got it, so I was skeptical if it would do the job, but it turned out really well. The other lights I did bring were the Aperture MC lights. We got these in a pack of 4, so we were able to put them around the set. And these worked out pretty well. However, since they were on batteries, they did run out every now and then, which was a little annoying. I mounted the F21C to the roof. Since it was such a lightweight light, I could just use zip ties to strap it to the roof, and I used quite a few so that way if one of them failed, then the other ones would catch it. But fortunately, it didn't fall. This light worked out really well because it is RGB. I was able to control the light and the color throughout the whole set, and I was able to use a few of the effects built into the light as well. A mini review about this light. The only thing I would say is that the cable is mounted here, which is a little annoying because when you're looking to mount it, it has to bend a lot. If it was mounted, say, at the back or had a little bit of a swivel mount, it would be a little bit nicer. But for the price, this light is really good. I would opt for the bigger one next round, just because the footprint is the same size when you pack it down, but the output you'll get is double. Taking a further peek behind the curtain, this was my desk on set. As you can see, it was super messy, but it did the job. I essentially have my Aperture MCs charging here, which again was slightly annoying that they did run out of battery. I think the maximum runtime on them was about 2 hours, and especially recording for 5 hours at a time on set, we had to charge them multiple times. Moving on, the next part you might be able to see is these 4 camera views set up, which were actually 4 webcams we placed around the studio, all plugged into my laptop, both recording the feed and just showcasing them on the monitor. So we were able to use this camera here to record that view, which we plugged this camera into a projector, which played on the wall, which you saw in the previous photo. Hopefully that all makes sense. Sometimes we did this setup, or sometimes I just plugged this projector straight into the computer, where I was able to not only show those camera views, but show other content that we wanted to play. For audio, I ran the Rode Wireless Go 2s, which we plugged onto our main subjects, which was also getting received to our Zoom F3, which does 32-bit float audio, which was really nice. And then I just monitored it with the Audio-Technica MTH M50 X's. Another piece of gear that I was super stoked about using on this set was the Sakura Flowtech tripod. This is carbon fiber, and just the design all around, everything is thought out really well, such as this head, which you're able to level with just a lever. For other tripods, you have to use a knob underneath to unscrew and then level it out and then screw it back up. Whereas this one, you're able just to pull this lever and lock it into level, and then you're ready to go shoot again, which is pretty dope. On top of that, you're able to just use these 3 latches and pull up the tripod and then lock it in, and you're ready to go as well. So this piece of kit was super fun to have on set. It is a little bit large to carry around, so we had to check it in. But other than that, it was really good to use with the cameras we had, which were the FX6 and 2 FX3s. The final pieces of gear that wrapped up this production was number 1, this compact VHS camera. We had quite a few other VHS cameras on set, but this was a new pickup and it works pretty well. Unfortunately, it doesn't run off batteries, so you have to plug it into power, but the look that it has and the old man smell it has is pretty cool. Secondly, this Nerf gun was, I think, by far the best purchase of this trip. We used it so much shooting these little gel balls at everyone. Thirdly, the Prism Lens Effects store is actually based out in Arizona, so it was cool to swing by and pick up a few filters. We got a whole stack of them ranging from split diopter filters to lens flare filters to kaleidoscopes, and they really hooked us up with a few extra accessories as well. Overall, we had a really good week, and the only thing I would say on the production side that we could improve on is to get timecode for all the cameras and audio, so that way we can sync up everything a little bit easier in post. And I would probably swap out the Aperture MCs for some Quasar tubes or some Nanlite light tubes, just so that way we can plug them into power, and also they give us a little bit more light output. With that out of the way, I'm going to get ready to head out and possibly get a haircut, but more importantly, pack up this gear and drop it back to the office and get started on some editing. I also just picked up these boots when it was Black Friday, and they just got in when I was away. So I'm testing them out now, and I'm pretty stoked with them. I haven't had boots like this in a long time. I got it mainly because it gets so cold here in winter, so hopefully they hold up. Haircut is done. That place was really cool. They are a Japanese hairdresser chain here in New York, and the haircut was only $25, which is a little bit more expensive than the cheapest haircut I've had here, but it's definitely cheaper than the normal price, which I think the first haircut I got here was like $45 US, so 25 is pretty good. And they used a vacuum on my hair to suck out all the loose hairs, which was a first, but it seemed to work pretty well. Got no loose hairs.
Band in a yellow background. Beef with mushroom and cheese.
So it's a dry aged beef, and our cows are normally a little bit older than that.
That is awesome.